I am Nicky. I'm a French and genderqueer film director and artist. I am born in 1974 in France, from a mother who is French and a father who is Vietnamese. I am raised in the north suburbs of France, Paris, and I'm raised in a very diverse environment, diverse by cultures, I would say, because when I was a kid I was part of the second generation of migrants arriving in France. And I started to discover my roots very early. When I was 18, I had the privilege to travel in Vietnam to meet my family there and to stay 3 times in 3 consecutive years, 3 months duration each time. So I'm very privileged, and when I go back from Vietnam to France, at this period I was studying law at the University Paris, I start to take position in my life. I am at this period 20 years old or a bit more, and I feel that I'm Vietnamese much more than I'm French, but I'm born in France. So I'm a mixed race person in a French country, and I feel it very, very much. I realize that I'm privileged because my skin is white and my passport is French. I didn't study art, and I stopped my law studies very early year because I'm not interested by law, I'm not interested by politics. I like performing art and I want to know what is performing art, and I'm mainly surrounded by artists, philosophers and activist people in Paris. And by luck I found an American woman who is the director of St. Mark Church in the Bowery in New York City, which is an art space. And I go there to be a trainee and to do an internship, to learn about art, managing cultural spaces, and it's a very big slap in my face, I would say, because I discover performing art there, and I am young and I didn't study art, so it's a big event. It's a big event in my life, and it makes my future choices because I became an artist after being there and meeting all this environment, which is very surrounded by big encounters who make my road later. I also had the chance to go to the Film Anthology Archive of New York and watch experimental cinema. I was there, I would say, all the time nearby St. Mark Church in the Bowery, so I'm very privileged to go there. I don't have so much money, but I survive and I'm okay. I stayed 2 years there. Then when I'm back to France, I don't feel integrated in the artistic middle. I don't find my place. As well, I'm very poor, I'm living in squat, and here and there, and I think it makes no sense to stay in France, in Paris or in another city. So I leave France and I go first to Belgium, then to Berlin again, and then I start to travel a bit with without having a house, but just staying with friends or artist residency, learning my path of being a performer artist. I'm more interested into body art and music. This is my first focus. But I don't find my place either as a performer artist, and I'm self-didacted, so it's very hard. And suddenly I decided to settle in Brussels, Belgium for 7 years. And at this period, it's 2006, I think. Later on, I lose my aunt from HIV in 2013. This year was a very difficult year for me because I realized that she raised me and that I realized a fight with the HIV situation, because she got it in the 90s. So all my tender age I was with her, and I knew she got it, and I was educated in the sense that I could understand what it is to be queer, or you can get HIV, or you can support HIV rights, and all these things. And this was backward to the 90s period, so I was 12 years old when she raised me. So whatever, I realized that I'm very queer also, and I feel the need to join a queer community in Brussels, which I found very interesting community, and I start to be an artist in this sense, to position myself. I want to do queer art, not another kind of art. And it's coming, so I start to do films, writing poetry, writing text, making music, but for a while I'm very silent as a performance. I don't want to perform anymore. I'm focusing on learning how to make DIY movie. And my first film is a portrait of my friends in a dark room, the cruising bar for gay men. It's named O Socks. And I would say this is the beginning of my very long path, but another beginning as a filmmaker. I started to understand that I want to make films and that I am a filmmaker, so it's great. And I screened first my movie not in a appropriate space. I have to organize with friends screening, because I realized that my movies are so experimental or so queer that there is not yet a space for screening that. And so I organize myself screening in 2 bars, art galleries, small spaces, different kind of space, even to nightclubs, to be able to show my work. And then later on, I apply to Berlin Film Festival, Pan Film Festival, and I go there to screen a movie, and I encounter another queer scene that is more focused on post-pornography, and it's a community made of artists, sex workers, performers, filmmakers, other people who are organizers. And this is really, I found it really interesting, very powerful, and it makes sense then that I start to work in that direction, that I don't find the same in Brussels, so I go to move in Berlin. Today I'm living in Berlin and I'm very active as an artist in this city. I'm active, as a queer artist, mainly belonging to a sex-positive scene and community. It means that in Berlin we have this chance to be able to express a lot of things concerning sexualities, and sexualities out of the norm. We are very supported to express that topics which are very political today, and I'm conscious about that privilege. Things and choices came through the art of practicing it, because I'm self-didacted, and my aim is to do real film, real cinema, but I'm still a DIY artist because I want to be my own producer. It means that I'm doing everything. The production, the distribution, the direction. I have a team to support and help me, but I'm directing all that. So I am Nicky, the producer, the filmmaker, and the director, and the distributor for the moment. I mean, I don't know, later probably it will change, but for the moment it's my choice. I want to be independent. So this is a freedom, this is a choice, this is hard, but this is a freedom. This choice has limitation in terms of money-wise, of course, but I'm working on it, and I try to make everything as cheap as I can. I am very inspired by the friends, the artists in Berlin. We are working together as one. We are helping a lot each other with material, with exchange. I have a network of people with whom I can be really reliable through the years, and I'm very thankful to them. So I think I like working as a community, not as a collective, because we stay individual artists in the community, but we are working together as one, and we made a great scene there, and I'm very proud of it. Since 7 years we built a lot of things: parties, performing art, films, music, and this is the scene where I feel good, and this is the scene probably I want to develop more things again. In terms of content and choices and commitments in my art practice, I decided to work on sexuality which are not normative, and pornography, which was at first very accidental, because I wanted to portray my lifestyles as a sex-positive person and my friends. But then it became more political, because this is a political choice as well. And I realized always is difficult to not be censored as shooting pornography or post-pornography, because it's more post-pornography. And queer pornography, queer content. My main audience is queer, I guess, and I'm screening only in queer film festival, in queer art gallery, in queer parties, or in queer clubs. And but I want to stay inclusive. It means it's open and dedicated to everyone who has the curiosity to see that kind of work. I started to do DIY films because at first it was a question of budget first. Also the question that I was self-didacted, so I have to be an experimental filmmaker first, and wasn't the choice, was just my path of being an artist there. I am very happy about the result of my artwork, because now I'm able to screen in queer film festival, and I started with porn film festival only. The question of censorship came often into my life. First because I was doing naked content, and so you realize as an artist that on social media you can't do naked content, or sexual content is less acceptable today. Censorship is a very, very hard thing today for me. Like, for example, one of my film, Lemon Taste, is not able to screen in USA because there is a golden shower and it's forbidden, even in the porn industry. Or in UK, I think also it's forbidden. In other countries it can be forbidden because it's queer content. So I'm aware of these forbidden spaces or territories, but I want to go on because it has to be allowed. I'm forbidden also to screen certain images or to show certain images on social media, so unfortunately I have to be quiet on social media, and it's really, really difficult, even if I am making soft content compared to other artists, I think, that are more harder than me. So censorship is very heavy today, and it's a really hard topic. Feminism, yes, I am feminist. I'm feminist because of my art content, and because of my path of living, and because I am non-binary. So I believe in and I act as a feminist all the time, as an artist and as a person in my life. I think feminism has to be inclusive, has to accept the change, and I think feminism belongs to all category of people that want to talk about equality and about anti-patriarchy, and then you are a feminist. An inclusive feminist is the future, I think. I see now the new generation of people who are talking more about transgender issue in the society. I found them much more feminist than every woman in the world.